good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Appreciate all y'all coming through on this Saturday matinee. First, I want to say, God, Randy Constance donates $5. He said, God bless. Well, God bless you, Randy Constance. Thank you very much for your donation, and thank you for your support of the channel. Jamie Zarilla says, hello, Reason and Fins. Hope everyone is having a great Saturday. I'm still upset about JP and the stupid NY turf. Remember to smash the like button. Well, I wish for your sake, Jamie, we had a better start to the show. I really do, but we kind of gathered what the deal might be last night when Jaelan Phillips tweeted out, absolutely devastated, but I feel strength in knowing that this is all part of God's plan and that I have an incredible team support system around me. I'll be back stronger than ever. Fins up. So this was at about 7:16 p.m. Eastern last night. As you can see, the timestamp right in front of you. And ladies and gentlemen, not even an hour ago, word came down the pipeline, and it is our deepest and darkest fear regarding Jaelan Phillips. The deal is this, Jaelan Phillips suffered a torn Achilles. Mike McDaniel confirmed, and Terron Armstead is week to week with a quad injury. Now, Terron Armstead's quad injury is apparently not as severe and significant as Isaiah Wynn's. Isaiah Wynn, who keep telling y'all, I've been told don't expect him back this year, and Neil's been told if we make a deep playoff run, maybe he can come back. So it's not Isaiah Wynn level, but Terron Armstead has a quad injury. But the word here, obviously, Jaelan Phillips suffered a torn Achilles. And Mike McDaniel went further on and said, and I quote, long journey starts now. This can be a defining moment in a good way. This is just really, it's really tough, man. Guys, Chris Brooks isn't getting activated. All right, I got to be the one to tell all you this. Chris Brooks is not going to get activated off the IR. We only have 2 spots left to bring players back from the IR. I don't see Chris Brooks. That's why they elevated Darrington Evans. I don't see Chris Brooks getting activated. I do not see them wasting another IR spot on Chris Brooks. I'm letting y'all know, don't expect Chris Brooks to come back. We have 2 IR spots left. If someone gets hurt, a key player gets hurt, and they have to miss time, you want to leave that IR spot open for them. Period. So I wouldn't be holding my breath for Chris Brooks if I was you. I really wouldn't. All right? Now, back to this Jaelan Phillips thing. This is just absolutely devastating. Where do the Dolphins go from here? And the injuries are starting to pile up. I mean, they just keep, it's one after another right now. And, a couple things here. With Jaelan Phillips, I would be, listen, with Jaelan Phillips, he's obviously going to be moved to IR. That's going to open a spot. Go get Barnett. Go get Shaq Leonard. Go get, make this happen. All right? Go get Akeem Hicks and release Deshaun Hand. Start making some moves here and start fortifying this thing. Okay? Derek Barnett and Shaq Leonard aren't going to equate to Jaelan Phillips, but it's the best option out there to get those 2. You could rotate Barnett, Navy G, and Ogba off the opposite side of Chubb. Just have a nice steady rotation there. You can have Shaq and Jerome rotating. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and you can even have Shaq rotate with David Long here and there as well to get his snaps. I think there's options here. And do I think they're going to go out and do all that? Probably not. But I would be, Derek Barnett's going to clear waivers, so the contract's going to be on whatever team signs him terms, not his. Shaq Leonard's probably going to be making moves this week. And, that's what... Did Derek Barnett get waived to make room for Shaq Leonard? That's what you also got to ask yourself. So... it's tough, man. It is tough right here to make the decision of what you want to do. I'm not going to stop the first long intro because the first intro gives everyone a chance to collect here. And the whole reason for my opening for that 2-minute loading screen is for everyone to collect here and not miss a moment. You know how many times I come here, oh, I'm 5 minutes late. Oh, I'm 2 minutes late. What did I miss? Well, it gives that, my opening gives everyone time to collect here. That's the whole point of the opening. That's the whole point of the loading screen. All right? This isn't an upload. It's a live podcast experience. If it was an upload just with no live aspect to it, I would just have the Phinside The NFL intro. There would be no loading. But because it's a live stream, you do the loading. All right? So that's the explanation, because people want to hear what they want to. You want an explanation of how I run my channel like I owe it to anyone. Okay. When I upload a video, there's no loading screen. When it's a live stream, there is a loading screen. It gives people time to collect here. I had over 120 people in the chat by the time that stuff was done. It gave people time to collect here. Thank you very much. So, and I got the best intro in the game. So who are we lying to right now? So, you know, with Phillips, that would probably be the move I'd make. I'd reinforce it as best as I can, and as quickly as I can. I wouldn't wait around. I really wouldn't. The injuries are getting thick, and they're getting heavy. And again, you know, we were out with Ramsey. We've battled without X. Now we got to go the whole season without Jaelan Phillips. And Ogba's going to have to earn his money. And that's another big key factor of this. That's another reason why, you know, Ogba is going to be that first one up in that rotation. Him and AVG are going to be the main dudes in that rotation. And so for me, I mean, you look at Emmanuel Ogba right now, ladies and gentlemen, and oh no, you don't have to apologize, Antonio. I'm just explaining it because you're not the only one. Don't worry, brother. Everything's gravy train between us, Antonio. Emmanuel Ogba has been vastly, you know, underutilized, basically, just because of the snaps aren't there. But when he's only played 20% of our defensive snaps this season. Yet he has 3.5 sacks and an interception on playing on only 20% of those snaps. Ogba can eat in this defense. Ogba can eat. But where I'm at here, you can never have enough mouths to feed on defense. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this. All right? And ban that damn turf in MetLife. All right? Ban that crap. Seriously. I showed all y'all the list yesterday of people that have been hurt on that turf. Ban it. And the word out, ladies and gentlemen, the word out right here, in case y'all were wondering, the Dolphins do have interest in Derek Barnett. In case you guys were wondering oh, maybe this isn't realistic, this isn't a realistic possibility, etc., etc. No, they do have interest in Derek Barnett, all right? If you look at this right here, I mean, Barry Jackson tweeted out about 15 minutes ago, Dolphins have some interest in former Eagles first-rounder Derek Barnett per a league source. He's available now in free agency, has 21.5 sacks and 37 tackles for a loss in 7 seasons. Can play linebacker in a 3-4. Around Fangio with the Eagles in 2022 before season ended in the opener with an ACL injury. So we can confirm that at least they have interest. Now, the interesting thing about this is we've confirmed they have interest in Akeem Hicks. We've now confirmed they have interest in Derek Barnett. We have not been able to confirm they have interest in Shaq Leonard. That is one thing we have not been able to confirm. So, you know, Akeem Hicks is coming down to he doesn't know if he wants to play. He doesn't know if he wants to play the rest of the season. And listen, we're going to be knocking on the door. Love you too, Antonio. We're going to be knocking on the door for Derek Barnett. I like it. I like it. Fortified. You're not going to find another Jaelan Phillips, but at least make an effort to get some of that production back into the rotation. And Derek Barnett, man, he's a good player. He's a good player. Is he an elite player? No. But he's a good player when he's playing at his peak. Now, again, had an ACL injury last year. Is he the same player he was from 2 years ago? the ACL injury, he's probably just not at a point from the ACL injury that he's at a point to play full-time snap load. He's just probably not there yet. And that works perfectly for us because we can put you in a rotation, keep you fresh. And if we keep you fresh, even on a more limited snap count, hopefully we get more of an impact from you. And then maybe that's a guy where by the playoffs, he's into it. He's feeling it, right? Because if he got hurt in the season opener last year, by the playoffs, that'll be about a year and a half removed from the injury. So, just food for thought. You know what I mean? That's all it is. So, okay, just something to keep up. What's up, Watch Mister? How you doing, my boy? How you doing? So, yeah, Weddle did get, the safety Weddle did, Coach AJ, Weddle 110% got the starting gig when the Rams signed him, 110%. Weddle was a beast. Eric Weddle was a monster. Yeah, he got it. You're right, 110%. So, the injuries are piling up. And again, I go back with Terron Armstead. Listen, is this going to be a thing where he, I think he might have too much money on the table. But I think if Terron Armstead doesn't retire this offseason, he retires next offseason. The body's just breaking down on him. Let's be honest here. Now we're getting like 4 or 5 injuries a year he's dealing with. Last year he had, 4 injuries? What are we at now? 3? 3 or 4 injuries he's battling. Remember last year when he was on the injury report, he was listed with like 4 different things. Now he's dealt with at least 3 or 4 different things again this year. They're just stacking. They're stacking. It's not one thing that's hampering him. Now he's dealing with almost half a dozen every year. And I don't know if I see that continuing on. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And let's we got a couple things I want to do here before we get into the snap counts, PFF grades, and all that kind of jazz. We have a couple things I do want to go over here, okay? First of all, I have to say this. I'm sorry I have to. Jabroni of the week. The Jets fan base. I mean, Jesus Lord. Y'all were out here on every social media platform talking so much smack, even after y'all lost Aaron Rodgers. Now where y'all at? Y'all just got whooped 35-13 in your own house. Now, you beat Josh Allen and the Bills in your own house when you lost Rodgers with Zach Wilson, but you couldn't beat us. And you got whooped. We put up more points on the Jets than the Bills did against the Jets at home. And we did it at the on the road. All right? And, I mean, you look at what we did to them. The Dolphins recorded 7 sacks against the Jets for the second, and that was the second time they've done that this season. They also did it in Week 5 against the Giants. The last year the Dolphins had multiple games with 7+ sacks, 1998. Thanks, Jets. Appreciate it. And your run game was nothing. And I got to keep giving this run defense flowers. I told all y'all, stop panicking about this defense. Give it till Week 8. And where are we at right now? I'll tell you where we're at right now. Since struggling in the Chargers opener, the Dolphins are third in the NFL in rushing defense. They're allowing 78.8 yards per game. They're fifth in total defense. They're allowing 292.4 yards per game. Fifth in first downs allowed, 17.8%. And second in yards per carry allowed, 3.4 yards per carry. And the Jets got a dose of that yesterday, baby, did they not? Because the 29 yards allowed by the Miami Dolphins yesterday rushing were Miami's fewest allowed in a game since November 11th, 2017 versus New England. They allowed 25. So, Jets, I hope y'all enjoyed that. That was the fewest rush total we've allowed in 6 years. And that was the Jets' lowest rushing total since 2006. 17 years ago. November 26, 2006, they had 27 yards against the Houston Texans. Jets fans, I thought y'all were bad. I thought Breece Hall was the best running back in the AFC East. And the Dolphins have now held their opponents under 300 total yards in 4 straight games and 6 of the past 7 games. I'm just saying. And I also have to thank Jets fans for being Jabronis of the Week, because now, after absolutely whooping y'all, the Dolphins are 8-3 for the second consecutive season. That's the first time the Dolphins have done that since 2001. Thank you, Mike McDaniel. Thank you, Tua Tagovailoa. Because in case you didn't know, the Miami Dolphins are 22-9 over Tua Tagovailoa's last 31 starts. Just saying. Just saying, baby. All right? Whew. Whew. So, listen. It's a beautiful day to be a Miami Dolphin fan. If you have a Jets family member that's a fan, a Jets friend that's a fan, whatever the case may be, is you let them know what I just said. The Miami Dolphins are rolling right now, baby. The Miami Dolphins have allowed less than 110 rushing yards in 10 consecutive games. That's tied for the longest streak in franchise history. Buddy, since that Chargers game, this run defense has been fantastic. I told all y'all it would come together with Fangio. I see certain people are trying to take victory laps about da-da-da-da. Ain't no one out here gave y'all an exact time to wait till and was right, like I was in terms of week 8. I see Poupard trying to take a little victory lap about, I said the defense will be... Brother, I gave people a date and was saying a waiver for y'all. Stop right now. This defense is legit. All right, we had people out here making videos. Fangio a genius, huh? Just because people who don't know ball were passing off invalid takes and opinion on Fangio and this defense in a time when this defense was figuring themselves out and finding their identity, don't mean they're right. This defense is on its way. Right now, it's a top 5 defense in the NFL. It's literally a top 5 defense in the NFL if you dive into the numbers since the Chargers game. Real talk. We got that big Vic energy. Phinside The NFL.com. Go to the shop. I got the Big Vic energy shirts, baby. Go put those on because it's Big Vic energy, baby. That's what it is. And I've been telling y'all this. Vic Fangio is that, and he hasn't even started to build the personnel in his image. He came and took on this personnel. Think about that. This defense is only going to get better, ladies and gentlemen. Now, sure, we're going to lose players along the way that may impact production, but he's going to be able to install players that he thinks fits what he wants to do, which he hasn't really had a chance to do yet. So, yeah, we're going to lose a player, but in the sense of losing players, that'll give Fangio to build this defense a little bit more in his own image, personnel-wise. Because we're getting this production, and it's not built in his image personnel-wise. Think about that. That's a fact. Think of how many, all the players he took on, and not the players he wasn't around having a massive say in free agency. The core of our defense was already here before he got here. Just saying. So, that's what it is. And, your boy ain't shocked, Martina. Let me tell you this. Your boy's not shocked. I'm going to tell you why. Remember last year when I was highlighting on the film studies, how open Waddle was against Sauce and how he was giving Sauce the work on his routes? He was eating Sauce last year, but he didn't have a quarterback to throw him the football. Look, we have a quarterback to throw him the football. What happens? Right? Now, let's talk about this. And that's a very good point. That's a very good point, that's a very good point, Jeff. He says, thank God Fangio decided to keep Ogba around. 110%. Now, Tua Tagovailoa and the turnovers. Should the Miami Dolphins be worried about Tua Tagovailoa and the turnovers? Okay, first of all, the Dolphins have not had a clean game since the Broncos game. We have not had a clean sheet. We've had poor center and quarterback exchanges. We've had poor running back quarterback exchanges. And we've had bonehead plays. Since the Broncos game, the Dolphins have 16 turnovers. They on 9 interceptions and 7 lost fumbles. That's not good. And Tua Tagovailoa, right now, let's call a spade. He's got 10 interceptions and 10 fumbles. He's matched his 2021 career high of 10 interceptions. He's never had 10 fumbles before. The most he's ever had in a season was 3. He had 5 in his career up until this year, over 3 seasons. Now, in terms of throwing the football, remember, he played 13 games last year and he had 8. So realistically, he probably would have finished with 10 or 11 last year as well. Thing is, he's slinging the football. Look at his attempts. Put it this way. Last year, Tua Tagovailoa had 8 interceptions on 400 attempts in 13 games. He's played 11 games this year. He already has 377 attempts, and he has 10 interceptions. He's passing the ball at a much higher. Now, his completion percentage last year was 64.8. Now it's 69.8. If you look at Tua Tagovailoa, he's 5th in passer rating. He's 2nd in yards per attempt. He's 2nd in passing touchdowns. He's 2nd in passing yards. He's 3rd in completion percentage. And he's 23rd in interception percentage. What we're dealing with right now is, okay, first of all, that Reed interception should have never happened. All right? So, the pick 6, late read, bad throw, picked off. He shouldn't have made that throw. That's all on Tua. 110%. The first pick's on Tua. The second pick is like 80 to 85% on Tua and 15 to 20% on McDaniel. The second pick is 80 to 85% on Tua because that's a pick, and I haven't even broken down the all-22 yet for y'all. That's a pick people can point to, and they can turn around and they can say, yo, why are you forcing Tyreek? That's one of the plays where we've seen Tua before this season where he's missed throws, other throws on the field, because he sits in the pocket, patting the ball, waiting for Tyreek's route to develop or for him to create separation. Sometimes he does. Most of the times he does. Sometimes he doesn't. Yesterday was one of those times with Reed on that second pick. He never created that separation. Don't throw that football. Why are you throwing that football? But on the flip side, McDaniel, there's 9 seconds left. Last week, he took a shot with basically no time on the clock because you wanted to bomb it to Robbie Chosen when we were way out of field goal range. Way out of field goal range. All right? Now, you go and you do this because remember, last week, here's the thing. Last week, remember what I said. Even if you would have got a pass interference and stopped the clock on that Chosen play, what happens? You still got to get more yardage because you can't put Sanders out there to kick a field goal. And Tua took a shot. Remember, all y'all were worried that he hurt his hand. Remember, all y'all were worried. Oh, he hurt his hand. Now there's 9 seconds left. Why are we throwing the football, especially after a pick 6? Take the goddamn knee and go into the half. So, that second interception, the first interception, 110% on Tua. Bad throw, shouldn't have made the throw. Late read, shouldn't have made. You don't have the arm to make that late of a read and make that throw outside the numbers. Don't do that in the NFL. Second pick, 80-85% on Tua, 20 to 15% on McDaniel. Tua, stop waiting on Tyreek to develop. Move off the progression and find someone else. And 2, McDaniel, why is he even in a position to be throwing there? There's 9 seconds on the clock. We have to go forever. We had to go more than 30 yards in 9 seconds to even sniff field goal range. Not be in it, to sniff it. Why are we doing that? Why are we putting them in a position to do that? So, here's what I'm going to tell y'all with Tua's turnovers. And I've tried to warn everyone, and I don't know if people have listened to me. I don't know. But I'm going to say it again. This is what happens when you have a high volume of throwing, but also when you have a gunslinger mentality. All right? Let's talk about Brett Favre for a second. Everyone loves Brett Favre. Well, not me. I was never a Brett Favre fan, okay? But remember when Brett Favre retired? If you remember when Brett Favre retired, he led in career touchdown passes, but he also led in what? Career interceptions. He had the most interceptions of any quarterback in an NFL career. All right? Why? Gunslinger. Drew Brees. Everyone wants to compare him to Drew Brees. Drew Brees this, Drew Brees that. All right? Let me tell y'all something. In Drew Brees' first 3 years as a starter, all right? Check this one out. All right? In what? 42 games? Yeah, 42 games. In 42 games, his first 3 years as a starter, all right? He threw 38 picks. Drew Brees threw 38 picks. All right? You want me to read? Let me read. Drew Brees, I want y'all to do, Drew Brees played from 2001 to 2020. All right? Do you know Drew Brees only had, I'm not including his first season because he only played one game. But okay, we can include that. Let's include the first season because he only played one game and didn't throw an interception. But if you include that first year, Drew Brees had 0 picks in his first year, had 7 picks in his fourth year, and then you got to go all the way to 2017. In 2017, he had 8. In 2018, he had 5. In 2019, he had 4. And in 2020, he had 6. He had 6 years in a career that spanned from 2001 to 2020 that had less than 10 picks. That's what it is. Gunslinger has nothing to do with an arm. It's a mentality. That's an incorrect statement. Gunslinger is not about an arm. It's a mentality. I played the position. I know the position. And I can firmly say I probably know the position a lot better than you, considering how I evaluate it. That is an incorrect statement. Gunslinger is a mentality. It's 110% a mentality. Has nothing to do with arm. That's all of it too. Gunslinger is a mentality. Tua's version of gunslinging is when he fits it in windows that are ridiculous and no one... Dude, the confidence in his throws. He throws into double coverage and triangle coverage and box coverage all the time into holes that a lot of people can't fit. That's a gunslinger mentality. It's a mentality. That's all it is. It's a mentality, man. If you got to have a certain level of confidence in your arm, and it can be arm power, but it also can be accuracy, right? It's all about the confidence in your arm. If I think I can fit it, right? People think they can fit it in any window because of their arm power, just like Tua thinks he can fit it in any window because of his anticipation and processing. It's the same thing, just 2 different ways of approaching it. That's all. Just approach it like that. But yeah, gunsling is a mentality. So that's where we're at with Tua right now because of his confidence. Guys, I want y'all to hear what I said. Listen to what I said. Listen to this number. Sit down and listen to this number. Tua Tagovailoa played 13 games last year. Okay? He threw the ball 400 times. We're 11 games in this year. He's already thrown it 377. And he had 8 picks last year when he threw it 400 times. Obviously a little bit better. But he took more sacks last year too. So, when you're going to have that high volume of it, like we're on pace, this guy's going to throw over 600 times this year. Yeah, like that first throw to Waddle, Fins in the house, was ridiculous. Oh my God. That was stupid. That throw he made to Waddle, where the corner tried to undercut it, the DB tried to undercut it and couldn't get there. That's a gunslinger throw. Holy jeez, bro. He's ridiculous. I'm telling you, he's ridiculous. He's stupid. The throws he makes are dumb. He makes at least like one or like that's the thing. The guy makes at least a couple dumb throws. Like, and I don't mean dumb as in like bonehead throw. I mean like, holy jeez, I can't believe he made that throw. Like ridiculous throws. He makes like stupid, ridiculous throws, and he'll make them like a couple times a game. Like we are so blessed to have a guy as good as Tua Tagovailoa, man. I can't stress that. I mean, there are franchises in this league right now that would absolutely kill all of us for Tua Tagovailoa to be their starting quarterback. I'm just saying. Anyways, the turnovers, though, for me, you're seeing a result of the gunslinger mentality mixed in with, at times, situationally, our coach isn't helping him out. And y'all have seen it. Y'all have seen it going back 3 years. Tua sometimes can feel a little forced, and he can feel pressure to make a play. And when he feels that, sometimes he makes the plays and comes through, and other times it ends in a gunslinger. Pick off, boom, done. So, listen, I'm not excusing it because I am with every single one of you in the chat and every single one of you out there in Dolphin land. Tua needs to clean it up. This team needs to clean it up. The interceptions I can take. Why do I have 10 fumbles, Tua? I get that the word turnover starts with TU, as does Tua, but we got to clean this up, brother. 10 fumbles is inexcusable. You had, 2 last year, 3 the year before that, and 0 in year 1. The fumbles need to be cleaned up. I like that. I like that right there. Jim McHugh's Tua, timing, understanding, accuracy. Woo-wee. Love it. But you got to clean up the fumbles, man. Listen, I understand his mentality. I understand what we're passing the ball. I know the picks are going to come when you're throwing at this volume. But the fumbles, and I get it, not all of them are on him. 110%. Some of those are on Connor. Some of those are on the running backs. 110%. But as a team, this needs to be cleaned up. The fumbles are ridiculous with this team. That's where I'm at. All the fumbles are not his fault. 110%. Poor exchanges from Connor Williams to him. And then poor exchanges on the running backs receiving the ball from him have happened. 110%. But this needs to be cleaned up, my friends. This is an issue. 10 picks and 10 fumbles charged to Tua? That's 20 turnovers. And again, not all of them are on him. 110%. You don't got to tell me I created this channel because too many people don't explain the context of football, the context of plays, and the context of situations, and the context of evaluations to you guys. So I'm the last one who will take the context out. I get it. But as a team, I think as a team, the fumbles need to be cleaned up. And a lot of it comes down to execution. A lot of this comes down to execution. Even down to the interceptions. Both interceptions yesterday were execution, with the second one having a little McDaniel blame thrown in there as well because we shouldn't have been passing in that situation. But execution still, right? Execution would have got him off Tyreek on the second interception, and another progression would have avoided that. And execution on the first interception by Tua Tagovailoa, better execution, would have avoided that. Fumbles, better execution by Darrington Evans, would have avoided that. Better execution by Connor Williams throughout the season would have avoided fumbles on his side. A lot of it comes down to execution. Really, that's what it is. Got to execute better. Period. So, and a lot of that blame has to go around. So, man, listen, it's tough. It's tough, man. Why we stress about it, ladies and gentlemen, is because we know the potential. We know the ceiling of this offense. We've seen it with our own eyes. We've seen it with the gateways to our souls. We've seen how explosive, how good this defense can be. Sorry, this offense. We know how good this defense can be. We've seen it. We know we are on the level of a greatest show on turf. So that's why I think everyone gets so frustrated, and that's why I'm okay with everyone getting frustrated, because I've seen it too. And I agree with Martina. That's a big thing. Tua's fumbles this year, a lot of them have been from the snap or the exchange. They can be fixed 110% because usually she's right. A lot of the fumbles came from him getting hit. Yeah, he is. He is. He's going to get paid. Like I said it before, I'll tell y'all again. Tua Tagovailoa is about to be the most invested in player by the Dolphins franchise. The Dolphins are going to hand out a 200 to 250 million or more, depending on the years and stuff, contract to this guy. It's going to be the biggest investment this franchise has ever made in a player. That's a fact of the matter. That's a fact. That's a fact. So I don't know what you're talking about, Nacho Fins. I mean, we've literally seen a lot of fumbles from exchanges, and I don't know what you're talking about, brother. So how come Tua hesitates when he runs now? He used to get those rushing touchdowns from the red zone so easy. I just think he believes in the players around him that they're going to get open and he's going to be able to make a play. You know, and I also think a part of it is he doesn't want to take any hits. He knows how important he is to this offense. I think that's what factors in, man. He understands his role and his priority to this offense. So you have to appreciate it, right? I mean, obviously it isn't the most ideal thing in the world, but I mean, it is what it is. Don't ever let it be what it ain't, right? All right. So, all that said, let's get into the snap counts, the next gen stats, and the PFF grades for all of y'all. All right. So, snap counts starting off here. Hey, look at this. I told y'all Hill's workload looked like it was down. I was waiting for the snap count to come out. Tyreek Hill only had 63% of the snaps. He's clearly banged up right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is an injury that it doesn't seem like many people are talking about, but I think he's clearly... When was the last time you saw Tyreek only get 63% of the offensive snaps? And then, look at 7 different offensive linemen got snaps because of injuries and that ejection to Austin Jackson. Because Austin Jackson got ejected yesterday, right? Him and Quinnen Williams. I mean, yesterday Waddle, based on snap usage alone, was wide receiver 1. And the injury, man, that tells me that's the injury. That's what that tells me. You see Smythe comes in and he just takes that number 1 spot. Hill down to 30% of the snaps. Smythe comes in and he's clearly wide receiver 1. Yesterday, Berrios was clearly wide receiver 3. Craycraft actually had the 5th most snaps at the position. You see Mostert, he had almost 20 more snaps than Jeff Wilson Jr. And again, Jeff Wilson Jr. had another stellar game. And yet, look at the snap disparity. So, man, that's tough stuff right there. That is tough stuff right there. And then you look at the defense here, and defensively, man, it's I mean, you know, Chubb clearly the top edge. It's crazy is, you know, no one got 100% of the snaps. Baker got 71%, and you know, just based on usage, this is crazy. I mean, we haven't seen, you know, X and Kohu and Ramsey saw about 83% of the snaps, and just different usage, and so interesting how the usage is kind of all over the map on defense compared to what it's been recently. So Chubb got more snaps than Jerome Baker. Deshaun Elliott got more snaps than Javon Holland. And Deshaun Elliott's playing fantastic football right now. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. He's playing some good football right now. Someone asked in the chat, why is this guy always sick? You ever had kids? Look at this. Why is this dad of a toddler and a 5-year-old? Why is he sick? Have you ever had kids before, bud? And I'm not sick, by the way, right now, just so you know. But it's called kids, man. You know, start a family, you'll feel the pain. So, those are the snap counts for the Miami Dolphins. Now, I think let's get into the PFF grades now that we've done that. And the PFF grades, offensively, and there's some interesting things here. Offensively, Jalen Waddle was your top graded offensive player, 91.3. Connor Williams was number 2 at an 88.6. Tua Tagovailoa, even with 2 interceptions, was the third. He still cracked an 81.9, even with 2 picks. And he still had an 83.7 as a passer. That tells you how they thought he was doing all the right things besides the 2 picks. Keon Smith comes in relief and ends up being our 4th highest graded guy. Tyreek ends up being our 5th highest graded guy. Lowest graded were Durham Smythe, Julian Hill, Braxton Berrios, Alec Ingold, and Lester Cotton. So, now, here we go. As we get into the pressure and depth, you look at this passing chart. Again, it's always different from the next gen passing chart. They have him 2 for 2 for 67 yards on the deep level. On the intermediate level, they have him 4 for 5. On the short level, they have him 7 for 13. And then behind the line of scrimmage, they have him 8 for 8. Tua kept clean. He was 20 of 28 for a touchdown and 2 picks when he's kept clean. Average depth of target was about 4.9 yards. Yards per attempt was 8. His adjusted completion percentage, it jumps from 71.4 to 81.5 because there were 2 drops charged. When he was under pressure, he was 1 for 2. He was only under pressure twice yesterday. His average depth of target was 16 yards, and his yards per attempt was 10 when he was under pressure. And look at his time to throw. When Tua was kept clean, his time to throw was 2.09 seconds. When he was under pressure, about 2.85 seconds. When he wasn't blitzed, it was about 2.2 seconds. When blitzed, he got the ball out in about 2.1 seconds. So, good stuff from Tua Tagovailoa. Minus the picks. Really, take away those turnovers, and we're all probably really happy with this game. Let's be honest with ourselves. You know, even if we only would have got the 1 interception, the 1 touchdown, we still would have been happy with this game, but it's the picks and the fashion they came in. So, now, pressure. When you look at blocking, look where the pressures came from. Only 4 pressures allowed. 1 by Connor Williams, 1 by Austin Jackson, and 1 by Terron Armstead, and then 1 by Durham Smythe. So Liam Eichenberg and Lester Cotton did not allow a pressure yesterday, according to PFF. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's ridiculous. Look at Lester Cotton and Eichenberg. Come on. And then, only 4 pressures yesterday. That's good. That's good stuff. This offensive line. Give Butch Barry his flowers, please. Listen, everyone knows Ben Albright's my boy, but that Broncos media and that Broncos team, they were lying about Butch Barry. Let me be the first one to say that. All right? Let me be the first one to say that. And guys, in the chat, do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Appreciate all y'all for coming through. In Butch Barry, we trust 110%. So, Defensively, top graded defender was Javon Holland, 92.6. Emmanuel Ogbah comes in at a 91.1. Jerome Baker at a 90.9. Jaelan Phillips at a 90.5. Bradley Chubb at, wow, look at this defense just lighting it up. Bradley Chubb at an 83.2. Howard at a 77.9. Nick Needham at a 77.3. Brandon Jones at a 77.2. Sean Elliott at a 76.2. Van Ginkel at a 75. Your worst graded guys yesterday, David Long was the worst graded. He came out at 39. Duke Riley came in at a 46.7. Cam Smith came in at a 56.6. Cameron Goodfit came in at a 57.7. And Jalen Ramsey came in at a 58.2. So when you watch the coverage and when you look at the coverage, it was pretty good yesterday, that's for sure. David Long, though, he was targeted 7 times, allowed 5 receptions for 40 yards and 2 first downs. Jerome Baker, he was targeted 6 times, allowed 4 receptions for 16 yards, and he had a drop by one of the receivers, Garrett Wilson. Jalen Ramsey was targeted 3 times, allowed 3 receptions for 25 yards and a first down. AVG, he was targeted 3 times, allowed 3 receptions for 14 yards. Javon Holland targeted 3 times, allowed 2 receptions and 2 first downs for 22 yards. And Kader Kohu targeted 3 times, allowed 3 receptions for 17 yards, 2 first downs, and a touchdown. Deshaun Elliott targeted twice, allowed 1 reception for 1 yard. Duke Riley, he was targeted twice, allowed 1 reception for 7 yards. Cam Smith, he was targeted twice, allowed 2 receptions for 20 yards. And a first down. Nick Needham targeted twice, allowed 2 receptions for 11 yards. Brandon Jones was targeted once, allowed 1 reception for 6 yards. Xavier Howard, he was targeted once, didn't allow a reception. Elijah Campbell, he was targeted once, and he did not allow a reception as well. So that's what it looks like from a coverage standpoint. And I just wanted to let you guys know, in case you didn't know, right now the Dolphins currently have 3 players ranked first overall at their respective positions. Tyreek in PFF grades. Tyreek Hill has a 93.3 grade. He's the top graded receiver in the NFL. Javon Holland has a 91.3 grade. He's the top graded safety in the NFL. And guys, Connor Williams right now is the top graded center in the NFL with an 86.4. So the Dolphins, they are grading out, baby. They are grading out, and they are grading out good. So there you go with that. Now, getting into the next gen stats, here is their passing chart for Tua Tagovailoa. Tim Boyles isn't available. Tua was 21 of 30, 243 yards. He had a completion percentage over expected of plus 1.3%. That means his completion percentage was higher than it was expected by 1.3%, right? You look at the ball getting spread around both sides, Tua taking deep shots to both sides, and ball just, what I'm surprised is we didn't really attack the middle of the field a ton. Not a lot of middle of the field. Usually we're, but usually this team loves the middle of the field, and just they weren't targeting as much as they usually did. And, I mean, other than those 2 picks, look at Tua's efficiency on both sides of the field and behind the line of scrimmage. Pretty efficient, pretty efficient. So, interesting thing. That was the first thing that popped up to me when I saw that chart. First thing that popped up to me was, wow, they really didn't target the middle of the field the way they normally do. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, both those picks came targeting outside the numbers too, right? One of them was a late read he should have never thrown. And the other one was he was waiting for Tyreek to come open, and he should have moved off the progression and threw it anyways. So, and the coverage was too good to deem a throw into that window. Now, when you look at the next-gen stats for the game, Tua Tagovailoa had the longest completed air distance of 41.2 yards. Tim Boyle's longest completed air distance was 28.1. Tyreek Hill was the fastest ball carrier yesterday. He got up to 20.72. DJ Reed on his pick 6 got up to 19.78. Emmanuel Ogbah, he had the fastest sack in the game yesterday. He had a 2.9 seconds. Bryce Huff was about 3.9 seconds. Look at this. So, Tua Tagovailoa's passing depth chart lining up a little bit here. Here we go. Lining up a little bit here. So, just like PFF, they have him 2 for 2, but where they differentiate, they have him 3 for 3 to the left, 1 for 1 to the right on the intermediate level, and then no attempts in the middle, while PFF, they had Tua. It was a little bit different for them over on PFF because they had 2 on the intermediate level, 2 for 2 to the left, 2 for 2 to the middle, and 0 for 1 to the right. Just like the short level, you see he's 2 for 4 here from from the line of scrimmage to the 10-yard line, 2 for 4 to the left, 2 for 4 to the middle, 2 for 5 to the right. If you remembered the PFF stuff had him 1 for 3 to the left there, 3 for 5 to the middle, and 3 for 5 to the right. So, not the same. So, always a little bit different. And there's Tim Boyle's passing chart. 0 for 2. He only had 4 passes beyond 10 yards all game. Check down Charlie. Rushing yesterday, Raheem Mostert found all of his yardage on that outside zone going wide right. Found a little life going left. Jeff Wilson was finding that same success off that zone going wide right with 11 carries of 56 yards. Love it. Breece Hall, look at this. 7 carries, 25 yards, not much. Look at Dalvin Cook, 1 carry for 2 yards. You chose the money instead of winning, Dalvin, and it's hurting. League average for separation per route ran around the league is about 2.95 yards. Jalen Waddle was averaging about 3.48 yards yesterday. Tyreek Hill, 3.51 yards. Durham Smythe, 2.69, and Braxton Berrios, 2.04. On the flip side, Xavier Gibson was about 6.56 yards. Garrett Wilson was 2.6 yards. Conklin was 4.19 yards. Brownlee was 4.65 yards, and Jeremy Ruckert was 6.09. So they were getting separation over there for the most part in New York, and so are we. Defensive pass rush, the average separation from the quarterback around the league is about 4.53 yards. Wilkins was below it yesterday at 4.49. Chubb was past it at 4.61, as was Raekwon Davis and Phillips. Bryce Huff was well below it yesterday for the Jets at about 4.25 yards. Quinnen Williams was past it about 4.83 yards, and Jonathan Franklin Myers was 5.1. Remember when Jonathan Franklin Myers used to talk smack? What happened to that, huh? You ain't talking smack no more over there, are you, boys? Jabronis. And, I've been trying to tell all you guys. Barry Jackson tweeted it out, so maybe it'll get ahead. And, yeah, Nick Ham says Wilson's running was very important. Yeah, it was important. Wilson looks like feed me more, like his name's Ryback Wilson. Look at what Barry Jackson said today. At $23 million over cap next year, Dolphins might need a Christmas miracle to pay Wilkins and Connor Williams and Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt and a DT as Davis or someone else, and address free agency of Elliott, 3 through 5 receivers, etc. But that's a conundrum for March. For now, enjoy this ride. I keep telling y'all it's coming. We could have a defense next year with no Baker, no Xavier Howard, no Ogba, and potentially no Christian Wilkins. Now, I think they're going to franchise Christian Wilkins, especially the level he's playing at right now. I think they'll franchise tag him, and I think they're going to restructure a bunch of people and try to bring back that offensive line as much as possible. I think Wilkins and the offensive line is going to be the priority, and they're going to try to bring back all those guys as much as they can. They're going to do a bunch of restructures. They're going to push money down the line, and they're going to franchise tag Wilkins and push Wilkins down another year and deal with it when he's 29, about to becoming 30. That's what I think it's going to happen. I think X is gone, Jerome's gone, and Ogba's gone. That's a starting point. And then there's going to be a bunch of restructuring to try and bring back Jackson, Hunt, Connor Williams, and Wilkins. That's what I think is going to go down. Now, I don't think they're going to bring back all 4. I think I've been saying it, someone's going to back up this bring truck to Austin Jackson. That's just going to be too expensive. I feel it. I really feel it. I do. And it's a damn shame. It really is. But, again, it is what it is. That's what I think is going to happen. And so, Barry ain't lying. Barry is not lying. Guys, can you believe it? We got to go like 8 days without football. 9 days since yesterday. Do me a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you to my Patrons and channel members. I got an episode of 3 Takes that's going to be coming out tonight on the Patreon. So listen, man, I appreciate all of you guys. If you can't be a Patreon, if you can't be a channel member, if you can't afford to donate, do me the favor. It takes 3 seconds. Smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Appreciate all of you who come through and support the channel the way you do. I love each and every one of you. Y'all are so amazing. And man, again, a Saturday matinee, had over 350 of you in the room today. Appreciate y'all. Please do me the favor, smash the like button. I'm going to be back on Monday. Expect me. All right. Back on Monday. Everyone, take the night. Enjoy yourself. Take the Sunday tomorrow. Enjoy the football games. And let's get some losses, because right now the Dolphins are number 1 in the AFC. They control their own destiny. All right. The destiny is in their own hands. Number 1 in the AFC. We get a loss tomorrow. We get some losses tomorrow, and we can remain there. So let's go, man. This team hasn't even peaked yet, and they're first place in the AFC. They're 8-3 for the second consecutive year, and the first time in consecutive years since 2000, 2001. Enjoy the ride, like Barry said. Love all y'all. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Fins all the way up, baby. Appreciate all y'all. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Take it easy, guys.